Well, I just thought I'd stop and show you guys this clever old crapper. All right, so here's the part I'm sure you all have been looking forward to the entire trip, and that's watching me take a shower. It's because this wall runs behind me and all the way around the corner. This here is an old stove and oven. Rain, and there's some thunder rolling in, and the wind is really starting to blow. So hi, I'm Brian from Northwest Bronco. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm back out here in the Oregon Desert looking for some history to show you guys, and this is actually my second day out here. Look at the video before this one. I went out and filmed a Smith Castle, which is a pretty cool, kind of broken down old house up on the hill over there, and that's a little short video, so make sure you take a look at that one because that was yesterday. So the plan for today is to find 2 or 3 homesteads that I think are out here, and also a kind of a memorial that's out here by this lone kind of ponderosa tree. So I'm going to take a look at that too. So after we get done filming all that, we're going to find a place to camp. I'm going to show you a little bit of my camp setup and kind of what I'm going to eat tonight, and then I'm going to head home in the morning. So without further ado, let's get on the trail and see if we can find those markers. Okay, it looks like we're coming up on our first marker here, and it's a broken down building out here. I don't know if it's a homestead or something else, but I think the turn is right here. So we are going to make this turn and see what's at the end of this road. All right, this is actually pretty interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and put the drone up first and kind of show you this rock wall that someone hand stacked. And it's quite big, it runs all the way along here. And then we're just gonna kind of take a look around at this site and see what we can find. All right, this is pretty impressive. This is a hell of a lot of work, whoever did this, because this wall runs behind me and all the way around the corner. And it looks like obviously it's a retaining wall to level up the area above. Did see an old barrel band here and a fuel can. This one's still got the spout on it right here and the handle, which is kind of cool. And there's another one right back there, another one there. So coming up to here, looks like we do have some more bands. And this is actually a bowl or a pot right here for cooking or eating. You see it still has the handle on it. Kind of a cool piece. All right, that's about it for this site. So let's hop in the Bronco, head on out, and find our next marker. You think about the amount of work people put into building that. That was all done by hand, and you're talking about like the 1920s. But it must have been really tough for these people to walk away from these places because they put in the amount of work they do, and they weren't unhappy. You know, these were happy homesteading people. They wanted to be out here, and they were happy people for the most part. But the circumstances that normally drove these people out of here where they had to leave was either their roof collapsed on their house, their well went dry, or their place burnt down. And that's usually about it. So walking away from these houses must have been really, really tough for these people. All right, we're about halfway to our destination, and I had to stop here because I came up over this hill, and I have to show you this view real quick. This is absolutely incredible. All right, so I'm about a mile away from the memorial, and you can't miss it. It's a lone ponderosa tree sticking up, and I'll show you in a minute. But I'm seeing something white under the tree, and I'm not sure if it's decorations from the memorial or if it's a car. All right, so it's definitely It's definitely a truck and the truck's door's open. And whether or not people are camping or they're just looking at the memorial, either way, I don't want to bother them because it's not really the time or place to be rolling up on somebody. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but right back there is that lone tree sticking up, and that's the memorial. So we'll come back another time and film that. All right, I gotta show you guys this. I was just rolling down the road and found something pretty interesting. Well, to start off with, we have a gas can here, and then some kind of a, who the hell knows, radiator maybe. Looks like we have some bunk beds here that are unstacked. Looks like we have another set of bunk beds here that are still stacked. Another bed frame out there by itself. Lots of debris. This is a stove jack right here to a building. This here is an old stove and oven. And right here is an old refrigerator. Here's a trailer, back of a truck that's been converted to or made into a trailer. Looks like here's a piece of an old dish. Still has some writing on it. Then we also have here some melted stuff. Looks like, now besides all that melted glass and stuff, I'm also finding charred lumber out here too. Here's something. Here's a pole top can, so it's not too old. So maybe one of you guys is better than I am about knowing the dates of cars. But if you can date whatever this trailer is, then and put it in the comments below. That'll help us date this entire area and kind of give us an idea on when all this happened. So we did find the melted glass everywhere and the charred wood, which leads me to believe that chances are a building burnt down here. And if it didn't, then maybe it was a dump that a fire came through later and burned everything up. But I'm going to have to say, because there's a stove jack over there, I'm going to have to say there was a building here that burnt down at one point. Well, I just thought I'd stop and show you guys this clever old crapper. So I was just driving, doing some thinking because I had nothing else to do. I'm actually thinking that was an old logging camp because there's signs of logging going on all up in those hills there, and I'm thinking that that's probably what that was. All right, so we made it to camp, and I've stayed at this spot before, so you might recognize a couple things around here. There is a little bit of thunder going on, so hopefully we won't have too rough of a night. But I'm gonna go ahead and get camp set up and then get some dinner. So one kind of handy thing you can keep in your trasheroo or your garbage bag in the back is it's just a whisk brush, so you can kind of brush everything off. So everybody loves a good rooftop tent, and this one's no exception. This is the iCamper Blue Dot Voyager solo tent, so it's meant for one person instead of two. And normally this thing will just pop up on its own real easily and quickly, but I have the traction boards up top, and that adds weight to the roof, so it's a little bit slow to open, but you know, not that big a deal. One thing I do like about this tent is that it has this strap right here, which kind of holds the whole thing in, so when you bring the tent down, it just kind of sucks everything into the middle, makes it a little easier to stow. So I keep two things up here all the time, and that's going to be my rooftop tent bag, and the other thing is the ladder. Now the Blue Dot Voyager tent, the solo version, is kind of designed to be more mounted off to the side of your rig. That way you can put like a bike or something on the other side next to it, but I have mine right in the middle, so my ladder doesn't attach to where it's supposed to, but I just lean against the side of the Bronco, and I put a couple of straps on there just to hold it so it doesn't slide out on me. And you kind of see it's a pretty simple deal. I just run it around the roof rack and just around the top rung here. And I cut the straps nice and short. And there you go. Then I just throw my my clothing bag up there and my sleeping bag. So the next thing I'm going to set up is my ready light. Now this is by a Free Spirit Recreation, and it's the ready light. I think this is the Generation 2 or something like that, but it doesn't really matter. All the ready lights are good. So if you're looking for the best camping light on the market, this is going to be it. So what you're looking at here is my camp setup. This is basically it. It's super quick. It takes like 5 minutes to set all this up and about 10 minutes to take it all down in the morning. So when it comes time for dinner, all I do is I just drop the table down and then open the drawer up. Then I get out my jet boil, fuel. As most of you know who've watched my channel before, I hate camp cooking. I don't like doing it. Everything that I bring is pretty much either dehydrated, like a mountain house, or it's pre-cooked and I just warm it up in camp. So I have string beans in a bag, and then I also have a bunch of steak bites with salt, pepper, garlic powder, Worcestershire sauce, and they're already cooked. So I just throw them in the pan, these two things together in the pan, just warm it up and eat. And then usually for lunch or breakfast, I'll just have eggs, and I hard boil the eggs and I put them in this little egg holder. So I have 4 eggs. I have basically 2 eggs a day. That way I don't have to cook eggs in camp. I just peel them and in they go. All right, a little bit of S&P for me. Done. All right, look at this. Kitchen table. All right, so here's the part I'm sure you all have been looking forward to the entire trip, and that's watching me take a shower. Pretty simple deal. Just my simple towel, watered down soap. So this is either the best part of the day or the worst part of the day. When it's warm like this and the water's warm, it's the best part of the day. When it's cold and it's freezing and that water's freezing, it's the worst part of the day. But it does wake you up pretty quick. So for soap, regular body, hair, everything soap, about 2/3 soap, the rest of it water. Shake it up and it washes off super easily. So you might be wondering what I do now. It's 7:30 and we still have like an hour and a half left of light. So what do you do out here? I do one of two things. One, if I have a good view, I'll sit and look at the view and drink some whiskey until bedtime. If I really have nothing to look at, like right now, then I'll usually jump in the rig, sip on whiskey, and I'll watch a movie on my phone. And right now I'm watching I'm rewatching Rescue Me, the Dennis Leary fireman show. I've been watching that all summer long. And every night I watch 1 or 2 episodes, and each time I come out here, because I come out here like twice a month for 2 nights at a time, so I just keep watching episodes. All right, we're gonna have to sign off this trip right now because it's starting to rain and there's some thunder rolling in and the wind is really starting to blow. So I gotta kind of put a couple things away, but hopefully you enjoyed the trip. If you did, maybe give the video a like, subscribe more Bronco content. We'll see you next time.